You're listening to the Warlord Radio Podcast.
Well, welcome back.
It's the Warlord Radio Podcast. I feel like it's been forever. It really hasn't, though. It's only been like a week, but still.
I think it was a little longer because we had the holidays and we took like 2 weeks off. So
That's true.
This is like the third week, but
This is the second one back for 2020, correct?
right.
Right.
This will be the third episode of 2020.
God, I need to start listening to this show.
You're on it, so you don't need to. You get a pass. But anyway, we have a special first-time guest on the show. We have the lovely soul Nuno.
Hi.
She is a photographer from Pix From The Pit, and has done some outstanding work, not only for the local scene, but also like major bands. Like you did some awesome pics at the Slayer show with Behemoth and Cannibal Corpse and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not even going to lie. I didn't realize that that's what we were doing tonight, but I've been following you for like at least a year.
Right.
That's always good to know because, you know, a lot of times I go somewhere and people will be like, I'm like, nice to meet you. They're like, oh no, we already know who you are. And, you know, speaking of like, when I set out to do all this 7 years ago, I said, I'm going to make a name for myself out of nothing. You know? Well, what are you going to call it? Well, I'm going to call it Pix From The Pit. Well, why? Well, because it's Pix From The Pit. Like literally, you know, you remember when I was like literally at local shows in the mosh pit doing photos. And they're like, well, you're going to get hurt. Nah.
I wouldn't be worried about that. I'd be more worried about my camera.
My gear? Well, speaking of my gear, like, if I'm gonna go down regardless if I'm walking in heels and have my fucking gear or if I'm like in the pit or whatever, you always go for protecting your gear. I always have like, okay, I'm falling, gear up.
Right. Like a rifle, like a Marine.
Like a Marine does with a sniper when he falls in the river.
Well, there you go. I guess that's where I got it from.
There you go.
Well, that's why you still get pictures though.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first show that you did for Pix From The Pit?
First off, how long ago was it? It was about, you said 7 years ago?
Yeah, like 7 years ago. I mean, I remember like just taking my gear to Deep Ellum.
Right.
And I remember like one of the first bands that caught my eye. Well, this a long time ago. Fucking Davon from Cooler Herd starts walking on the tables at Wits, and you know John was in Cooler Herd back then.
Yep.
And first of all, like John really caught my eye. He always has. He's fucking awesome.
John's pretty as fuck. Like
he's gorgeous. Like when we'll get back
John's
to that,
happy. Yeah, man.
When he shaves his beard and he walks up to me, do you know who I am? I'm like, yeah, but I'm still in shock. I'm like, you're so pretty. But anyway, he really caught my eye, and Davon actually, like he went from like walking on part of the bar to hopping on the tables, and the last fucking table that he like lands on fucking flips over. Wipes out. And I'm just like, I fucking love it here. And I had my gear out then, and I just, you know, went from there, and I just kept on going with it. Like I just fell in love with like the whole atmosphere, you know. And I was just like, hey, let's go.
Yeah. Well, you've done some stellar work over the years, like I said, because you've progressed to now you're doing like major shows and tours that come into town.
Yeah, I just did American Airlines. I did the Trans Siberian Orchestra.
Nice.
So that for me was
like
the entire
shit.
Siberian Orchestra.
That's essentially as big a show as you're gonna get.
Yeah, essentially. Like this is symphony and it's playing Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In front of a packed house at AAC.
Yeah.
So I was
What I always love, I got to see Trans Siberian Orchestra live, and what's funny as hell about that show is it's like the whole crowd is like half metalheads, half like soccer moms and shit. You know what I mean?
That was my favorite thing of seeing like full-on families. Like they have like their children and their parents, and a lot of people like do it like a Christmas tradition. I'm like, yeah, I know you're being in metal as fuck right now, right?
What do you know the story behind Trans Siberian Orchestra?
I assume it was a paycheck.
Well, kind of, but I always found this interesting because it's like a perfect example of like shit working out when you think it won't, because it was actually the Sabotage.
Sabotage.
And so Sabotage was like a Florida metal band, that was like super melodic and technical back in the 80s.
And quite frankly, Gutter Ballet is one of the best fucking
it's
albums
awesome.
ever. Dude.
And
It's so good.
And they were great, but they never broke through. Like
No.
they never got big.
The biggest
or
hit they
anything.
had was Hall of the Mountain King. That's like their
Right.
only like
And they still
official
play it.
video.
So
you know what I mean?
on their last album, they had Christmas in Sarajevo,
Yep.
and it faded away after they broke up. I can't remember exactly why they broke up, but they broke up in like the mid '90s, and it just kind of went away. Well, for whatever reason, that instrumental track on their last album caught in Europe.
Well, it was Carol of the Bells, wasn't it?
No, it was Christmas in Sarajevo.
Oh, that was okay.
That was the name of the song.
Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
And
Because they put out an album called that as well, right?
well, Trans Siberian does now.
Okay, cool.
So
sorry.
but when it was sabotaged, it caught on in Europe. Like, and radio stations started to play it, and then it caught on, and a bunch of them started playing. It was like in regular rotation, and they're like, "Do more of this," and they're like, "What? The band is done." They're like,
We're done.
"Yeah,
we're
like
done.
it's scattered to the wind, and guys have gone on to
Like
other projects."
Manowar kicked our ass. We're done.
Yeah, and all this kind of stuff. But it kept getting steam. So the guitar player decided that he's like, all right. He's like, well, I'll try to do some more of that, and that became Trans Siberian Orchestra.
Am I mistaken? One of the Oliver brothers was involved in it for a while, right? Am I totally wrong there?
I don't think so, but I don't know for certain.
Okay.
They have so many, like, even
Yeah, now they've
they
got,
have,
like-
orchestra.
Oh, they've got like a huge army of
specifically here in the
musicians.
U.S. or, you know, like, oh, this is a Texas orchestra.
Chris
So they're,
Caffrey,
like,
I
playing-
believe, was the main guitar player
Okay.
from Sabotage that kind of made the transfer over to Trans Siberian. But it was years after Sabotage
Yeah.
broke up, and nothing came of it, but this kind of lost track of theirs turned them into Christmas in Sarajevo, and then they ended up making like a whole thing around that song.
Well, and now they're like, honestly, if I had to estimate, I would say Trans Siberian Orchestra is one of the more worldwide best known metal
Oh, yeah.
acts.
They only play
Yeah.
arenas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
Sold out, freaking full on, spectacular, you know, and it's like all, you know, surrounding Christmas time, you know, and they just went from there. They have like Beethoven that they play,
Yeah.
and then some Sabotage.
Well,
you
that
know,
was the
so
thing
it's
about
like-
Sabotage was always like a little more classical than I believe
Yeah.
they were given
Yeah.
credit for.
Oh, yeah.
Because you look at Sabotage, you're like, that's a thrash band.
Right.
Everybody's got like dumbass sneakers on and tight ass jeans and
Yeah.
tank tops, but they were like playing like really amazing pieces of music.
oh yeah.
And then, you know, the stage show is ridiculous as well, but that's neither here nor there. Like, Sabotage, the musicianship has always been there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you actually think about it, Trans Siberian Orchestra is not like a massive shift from what they were already kind
No,
of doing.
it's just funny that there's like armies of people that would never go to a metal show have been to a metal show.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
They're like, no, this is Christmas music. It's
We're
like,
in
no, man.
disguise.
that guy is shredding right there.
And people love it. Like, you know, I love when they came out through to like the crowd. And you have like, you know, the guitar player and the violin, and it's like going at it, and then they're just like walking through the arena, and people are just like loving it. You know, it's just like, that's why you need to come to metal shows. We do this shit all the time. John played in the fucking street. Like,
I know, right?
you're missing out.
Yeah.
You know.
John and his wireless unit.
I literally played a show upside down at Andy's the other day. I was like, I hooked my
Rafters
legs
or what?
around the thing and I was playing bass. It was interesting.
You hang on rafters.
Was that
What?
last?
Yeah.
Was that last night?
2 nights ago.
How was that?
It was alright.
I know, like, week shows are tough. Always.
It was weird because we were doing like a roast of a bartender that had been there for like fucking years. So
Was it May?
End of May. It was May. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was May's last day, and May also at the last minute asked me to do the roast, and I had nothing prepared.
Ah.
So I just
Hey, wing it.
basically-
I bet that was fun.
No, I wasn't. I got up there and I basically just called her a bitch for 5 minutes. Like, I was not cool with it.
What's another word for a bitch?
I was just like, I think my one line was, I was like, man, I've never met somebody who looked at me with such disdain and such comfort at the same time.
Right.
But anyway, Al Bagley from I Am Man, I Am Monster, who is retired now, came out of retirement for one show to sit in on drums with us
Oh, that's awesome.
because our drummer was off getting plastered at
Is he
work.
not doing Debutante Brawl? Oh,
Al's done, man.
that's sad.
Al is done. Al is a very good drummer, but he's done. Yeah. What was weird, you should have been there that night because he put a totally different spin on our shit.
I bet.
Like, it was a lot of blast beats, and like swing beats and shit, and we're like, have you ever seen Decent Beast?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're more classic, you know what I mean? Like, we don't even have like a metal drummer. He's more of a rock dude, but it works with kind of what we do. But yeah, at one point, somebody bought me a shot of something dark. And then,
you set him up. No.
Kinda, and then you know those pipes that are like right. I was like hanging off the pipes and playing at the same time. And I
Good times.
Awesome.
don't know if I was playing the right notes, but I was having a great
Now I
time.
wish I was there to take pictures.
Did you see what I posted on the Diesel Beast page earlier about the Witcher song?
Oh yeah, no, the epic metal version of Toss Your Witcher a Coin.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, please cover this because that would be right up your alley.
I came up with an alternate version of that. It says, toss a bowl to your witches.
There you go.
I like it. Hey man, I'm with you there. I am also wearing pentacles and crow skulls and shit.
That's right.
I found another one. You remember that Takeshi 6ix9ine kid that kept ratting on everybody? Somebody
I call him. He's like a brony. He's like a male.
You are a Rainbow Dash, motherfucker.
He's Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Techno or what?
Today I found somebody had photoshopped
whatever his name is. I don't know. That dude.
That dude. I don't know. I don't fucking listen to mumble rap.
Taki's 6ix9ine or something.
Whatever. He's a child molester. But anyway.
Right.
No, somebody photoshopped his face on The Witcher and called it like a snitcher or something. And I like immediately in my head I was like, throw your snitcher some hands. Like, beat the shit out of this guy.
Some stitches to your snitches.
Well, since we're already on the subject, have you guys watched The Witcher yet?
I actually watched it.
You haven't fucking watched The Witcher,
I'm sorry, I'm behind.
No, quit your job.
I know. I'm calling in.
You don't
Watch the
have
fucking
to. You don't
show.
have to if you do what I do. See?
What's that?
I binge watched all of it. I put an all-nighter.
I'm sure I'll get to it. I'm just trying to catch up.
Yeah,
So.
I did an all-nighter and I watched it. That's what I did for New Year's Eve. I watched The Witcher.
There you go.
It was just me and The Witcher in bed.
I've never been into a dude as much as I was Geralt of Rivia on that show. I was like, fucking, they turned Superman into Batman and he's murdering motherfuckers with swords. Like, this is so fucking metal.
I knew who Henry Cavill was. Like, I had seen him and stuff.
He was the very stoic Superman.
And you know, he was always like passable, but I wasn't like super like blown away by anything he had done.
Right.
But then I heard him do some interviews on the trail for The Witcher, and I've decided he's cool as shit.
Well, he sandbags journalists all the fucking time.
Which is great.
Well, I think he had to do that. You have to like learn that skill when you do DC movies, because everybody expects him to be Marvel movies.
Right.
And he wasn't just doing a DC movie. He was fucking Superman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, people kept asking him stupid shit, even when he was doing the junkets for that show, and he was just like, this is all dumb. I don't like you at all.
Right.
I'm huge and very handsome. And like, he didn't have to deal with any of that
Guys.
bullshit. Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, no, some of the Witcher interviews on that press junket are amazing because, like, a journalist will ask him something dumb. Somebody asked him, what was it? It was so fucking stupid. Oh, they were like, Game of Thrones or Harry Potter, and he was like, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah.
Well, he was talking about that he actually hounded Netflix for a few years when they first announced that they were going to do it. He's like, I want to do it. He's like, I want it. And they're like, well, we're not there yet. And he's like randomly like telling his agent, he's like, tell him I want it, tell him I want it.
Well, they had originally had somebody else slated for the role. I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody like noticeable. He wasn't slated. He was definitely like rumored, you know what I mean? Right. And when you play the Witcher game or you read the books or anything like that, like Geralt of Rivia is like Frank Castle, like he's this gnarled fucking dickhead,
well, that was another thing that I thought was cool and unusual, especially for like a super rich celebrity. But he's like, I've read the books, I love the game. Like he knew everything about it, you know.
And he did it so very well, right?
Yes, very, very.
So I've heard good things, but I haven't watched it yet.
At all. So. And I love the fact that he was like, he pushed it to like, give me this. Now they have like 7 seasons already spoken for.
Yeah.
Because everybody like watched it, you know, binge watched it or got addicted. It's like, it just blew up.
Also, bro,
like,
Yennefer.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Like that. There's she's a dark mage, like sorceress.
Uh-huh.
Yennefer is exactly exactly what 14-year-old Carrick chased after every fucking day. Dude, he was gassed from Invader Zim. Like, I can't even explain this character, but like 14-year-old Carrick was just like, oh shit. I couldn't handle it.
So what did you think overall of the first season?
It was metal as fuck, correct?
Very fucking metal. Very brutal. I love the brutality.
It was super brutal, yeah.
I love brutality, so it's
like the damage. You remember the first episode, and I'm not trying to give away too many spoilers here, but he has to fight like a bunch of dudes in the town square.
Shocker, right?
And he's just carving fucking heads up like a goddamn butcher, dude. It was amazing.
They call that's why he got the nickname Butcher too.
The Butcher, and then until he became the White Wolf. But I mean, like Henry Cavill. Here's the thing about him, because I watched The Immortals, right? The one where he was the...
Yeah, and I really liked that.
I didn't. I thought it was boring as shit.
Oh, I liked it.
I hated that movie.
I liked it. I really loved Mickey Rourke in that.
He was awesome, yeah. Mickey Rourke was great. And then there was another movie that Henry Cavill did right around that time that was much more low budget called The Eagle, where it was about a Roman legionnaire that had to go into like Celtic territory and get the eagle back. Yeah. And I mean, like... I can't tell if Henry Cavill is not a good actor or if he's just getting the best dude at being stoic ever.
Right.
Like his whole vibe is just, I don't show emotion, I just kill. Right. And like there's something to be said for that too.
Yeah. It might be a little bit of both.
It might be a little bit of both. Right. He's also like super cut. I'm not kidding. I'm like mostly straight.
Oh, he's
I was totally straight until I watched The Witcher, and then I watched The Witcher, and I was like, maybe, maybe once.
Right. And I just think he has like that all around masculinity, like his fucking chin.
Oh yeah, he looks chiseled out of stone.
Yeah,
for certain.
Definitely.
He's exactly who like Greek gods.
Yes, he definitely.
Made. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely has that.
But he did. The show's. It's written well.
It definitely was not. I didn't find like a moment of boring. If I would have found it boring, I would have binge watched. Like, like seriously, it just there's so much fucking Netflix bullshit and.
And now The Mandalorian's taking the world by fucking storm. And don't get me wrong, The Mandalorian's good, but it wasn't The Witcher.
I haven't even watched it.
It's good.
To be honest, I'm just like. I don't know.
It's fun, like it's Star Wars. It's better than the movies.
For a busy person, like I hardly don't even watch TV. I mean, I'm always like I used to be a really big gamer, but once I started like just going at 1,000 miles per hour with my projects, because I have more projects than just Pix From The Pit, so I'm always doing something.
Careers
so for me,
yeah,
and even like if I have insomnia, I call it productive insomnia. I'm always doing something. I'm editing or I'm uploading stuff or getting back to people or whatever. So I mean, it takes a lot for me to like sit, and especially like back in the day, you always, it's 7 o'clock, I have to catch my show or whatever. Like I don't have time for that shit anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this series. Yeah, I'm just gonna binge watch it and just be done with like 8 episodes.
Yeah, I have an 8-hour block of time that I can tell everyone to fuck off for.
Yeah,
the only
I'm
downside
supposed to be sleeping, but fuck it.
The only downside of that is then when you're done, you're like, I gotta wait a fucking year to see what's happening.
That is exactly how I felt. I was like, well, now what am I gonna watch? Like, what do I do now? It's kind of sad. I was like, give me more.
You said you were a gamer. What kind of shit did you play?
Man, I used to The Witcher. I played The Witcher. I played. I started with like PS1 and PS2. So Silent Hill. I love Silent Hill.
I have a story about Silent Hill actually. When I was a kid, I was playing the first Silent Hill, and I was in the dark, and I was totally
That was the best way to play it.
Totally. But something happened, I don't even remember what it was, but something jumped out at me and scared the piss out of me so hard that I instinctively like reached over and turned off the play.
Fuck this!
I was like, nope, done. I'm gonna watch like My Little Pony or some shit, like I don't know.
Right.
But
I mean, I love that about it. I love that it would put you on edge, and when you play video games for such a long time, like I swear your mind starts playing tricks on you.
Every now and then.
You're just like, is this real? Am I like really feeling like this?
Binged Grand Theft Auto for a few hours and then gone out into actual traffic. You're like, I'm gonna stab that guy with a screwdriver. You're like, I can't do that in real life.
Driving, and after you've been playing Grand Theft Auto for hours of the trip. I used to work at GameStop. I was a manager at GameStop, so I did like the GTA 5 launch, which is awesome. Yeah, I had some tournaments. It was, man. I had like the biggest sales in the region because people lined up around like the shopping center had the GameStop, and then like our neighbor was Taco Bell. Well, our fucking line went all the way to Taco Bell, like. And well, I had a DJ.
Like, you think of the synergy involved with that, though? Like a GameStop next to a Taco Bell, like
yes.
the line was
I had
happy.
Pizza. I had pizza. I had a.
You had a DJ
contest.
there?
I had a DJ.
Fuck.
Yeah, I went all out for, and I went all out for. Dude, like all of our staff, like I was, I put on like more. I had less tattoos back then, so I put on fake tattoos. I had like scorpions on my elbows. And I was a total chola. Like I had like these fake guns, and I was
Did
like.
you have like rolled up white socks and flip flops and shit?
No, I was totally gangster that night, man. I had like my backwards hat on, and people were like. The fuck? Are those really your tattoos? I was like, yeah, dude, I have scorpions. Look.
I got this just fucking gitmo, you know?
Yeah.
Shake the dude.
Fucking cigar sticking out my cap and shit.
This one means I killed a dude
I
with
killed. You see
a
this
lunch tray.
teardrop?
Right.
You see
I
this
gave this guy a
teardrop?
blood eagle.
You've been a pin? No, I was just sad, yo.
I'm just sad. Sorry. So like,
What about you? Did you ever play The Witcher?
yeah, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Look at me. Yeah, I played The Witcher. I lived The Witcher.
Yeah.
I will say that The Witcher 2 was great. Witcher 3, though, The Wild Hunt, was one of the most expansive games I've played since like Skyrim. Because the thing about anybody that plays Skyrim knows that that game came out in what, 2011?
Yeah.
And it's still going very strong.
Especially the
There's-
online, having all
yeah.
that online content. and
There's
just
so
that
much
world is
content
so
in the
fucking
game in general,
crazy.
and then the DLCs were
Yeah.
really expansive. And then after that, the mod community got a hold of it and just
Yeah.
fucking went nuts.
Oh,
What I have on my computer is not even recognizable as Skyrim anymore.
Right.
And I don't even get to play video games
It's online,
that much.
the Elder
yeah.
Scrolls Online, that.
I hated Elder Scrolls Online. What did
Yeah.
you think of that?
I didn't play it much. I was kind of like, I had it, and I started playing it, and then that's when I slowly started like, just getting into other shit than gaming.
I'm not gonna lie. Well, I mean, like, I don't game much anymore. I used to, but
I wish I had time for gaming
my
sometimes.
big deal
Me
is
too.
like the whole industry shifted towards MMOs.
Yeah.
And a big reason I play video games is so I don't fucking have to talk to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to do my thing. I want to
is so-
slay demons.
Online
like-
playing, like I used to love to, like Black Ops, the zombie mode, like killing, and then all these little kids just cussing like fucking sailors. And I'm just
That
like,
cracks me up. That's not my problem. My problem is I've been looting. Right? I'm just like, hey man, fuck you,
Fuck you.
fuck your mom, fuck your grandma, fuck your sister. I hate you.
It always just tripped me out. It was just like, God damn, like, where are your parents? Did they hear you fucking talking like this to me? Like, fuck you, you little bitch. Oh shit, I called 12-year-old little bitch.
Some
I'll
of the
say it
worst
again.
shit I've ever seen another human being like literally happened on like video games. I was just like, man, you could have been a cum stain on a pillow, motherfucker.
No, I totally get it. When I was real into gaming, I broke a controller or two getting pissed off. And then I was like, now I get my little
I
brother.
did. Those
because-
fuckers were like $65 a piece.
Yeah, and now my kids.
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
an expensive mistake.
now my kids break their controllers. I'm like,
I told my kids straight up,
Damn
you
it.
break that controller, I'm not buying you a
I'm
new
not
one. You're
buying
playing
it.
marbles,
No, man. I
motherfucker.
got to the point where my kids are smaller, so I'm like, you get a wired one, buddy. I have my daughter's gonna be 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a interesting age.
When's she gonna be 2?
She's gonna be 2 at the end of this month, on the
Oh, wow.
23rd. Yeah,
Okay.
January 23rd. She's
Well, happy
birthday,
birthday.
so-
Happy
Hi,
birthday, man. Shout out.
My little baby moon bat.
Remember that one?
Yeah, Serenity Moon. She's amazing, man. She's like.
Kids are funny like that,
They
right?
are. Like, it's so funny because, like, you know, especially when you have parents that don't meet, like, your soccer mom criteria.
Right.
They're just, like, they pick up a whole, like, character of their own. You
Yeah.
know, and all my kids are, like, musically inclined, which is really awesome.
My kid so desperately wants to be a YouTube star. Like, he came to stay over at my house the other night, and we were sitting there on his tablet, and he figured out how to record videos on his
gosh.
tablet. And so he was like, Dad, we're going to do a reaction video of The Mandalorian. And I was like, okay, cool. So I put on The Mandalorian, and he was like, hey, it's Jack and his dad. Please hit like and subscribe. We're going to do a reaction video of The Mandalorian. And I'm sitting there like, what the where did you learn how to do that
From
shit?
watching, yeah, from watching.
watching,
Kids are
yeah.
the same. Like,
I did the same thing though when I was a kid. I used to do, I had a talk boy, right? And I used to do radio shows.
That's awesome.
And now I made like huge leaps and bounds in my life, and now I'm on a podcast, which is the same.
that's awesome.
What would be funny is if you show your kid like a talk boy, they'd be like, "What Stone Age gear is
Where did
this?"
You'd just be sitting there on like the tape deck, like trying to swipe it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that though? Like
Oh
videos
no, I
of them
handed my
trying to
kid a
give,
Game Boy.
or
My favorite's
like give kids like
regular
Walkmans
cell
or
phone.
things like that. And they're like, "What is this?"
A house phone. Those
Yeah,
are hilarious. They're like,
call
teenagers,
somebody.
a house phone.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
call somebody. Like, what is this
I don't
thing?
know anyone's number. Where's their name?
Yeah. Like, sure, you gotta spin it around.
They like start turning and like, what the fuck?
No, the funniest shit I ever did is I found my sister had a Game Boy Color, and I found it at her house, and I handed it to Jack, and he was just sitting there like, "Why won't it turn on?"
Right.
And I swiping the screen, and I'm like, "Doesn't work like you have to like press buttons."
Yeah.
And then, quite frankly, the graphics are gonna be shit, buddy. Like,
But you'll be blown away if it works.
you know what I really want to do, and you can't really do this anymore because these things are worth like a mint if you can find one now. But do you remember the old handheld like Tiger games?
Yeah.
Like Street Fighter 2, and you're
Right.
like, "This sucks, but I love it."
Right.
Because it wasn't Street Fighter 2 at all.
Seemed amazing at the time.
At the time.
It was like 4 pixels, you know, like
Yeah.
fighting each other, and you're like,
If
"Whoa!"
you held it in the right sunlight, you could literally see every model they had
Right.
like pre-programmed into the screen.
That's not my score. Wait, let me turn
Yeah.
it this way.
I would
see
love to
20
hand my
zeros.
kid one of those and just watch the steam shoot out of his ears and be like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This isn't Roblox."
Yeah, this isn't a Fortnite. Like,
So you have the 2-year-old, and then how old's the other one?
My son is 7.
That's not my son's
Yeah,
7.
he's total rock star mode right now. I remember buying him a guitar when he turned 2, like an actual like little Cars, little acoustic. And I showed him how to like hold it, and I was like, "Strum it." And he started strumming and saying, "Mama, Mama, I love you," like singing it. And I was just like, "You're 2, yes." Did something right. No, but yeah, he gets into like total rock star mode where he's just like, you know, strumming his guitar and like total kicking up his foot while he's doing it. And
Do you
like,
gotta teach him the power slide?
yes, he does it. He does the power
Nice.
slide,
Pete
man.
Townsend, like, swinging
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, he like kicks up. He like tries to swing his guitar around, and
That's when I realized my kid was way more hardcore than I was. Is we were like outside one day and he did a power slide on like cement, and I was like, "I would never do that. I would never fucking do that."
Yeah, and I've done wrestling.
Yeah,
right?
I did.
You did wrestling?
I
You
did.
look like you.
Actually, I'm probably gonna. I have an open audition on January 18th for the
Oh,
dojo.
yeah, awesome.
There you go.
For the what?
The dojo. It's
I've heard of the dojo.
the WWE wrestler. You remember Ember Moon? She used to be called Athena way back when she was on the indie circuit. But a couple of her students got a hold of me, and they were like, "Hey man, you used to wrestle, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Do you still wrestle?" And I was like, "No, I'm very old and I have no health insurance."
Right.
And then they were like, "Do it anyway." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm depressed.
Yeah, I
Let's
think,
do
I
this."
think,
Really twisted your arm there, huh?
I think our buddy Rusty Wayne is doing MMA fights soon again.
MMA is a
Yeah.
I did that for a while, and I'm not too proud to admit that I won a couple and I lost more.
Well, yeah, because like, when you're like, you know, used to wrestling and you like go into MMA, it's just like a whole totally different field. I took Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like 2 years.
That's just no joke though. Like sparring bruises the fuck out of you. Like it's hardcore contact. You know what I mean?
It really
Brazilian
is.
Jiu-Jitsu is no fucking joke.
It's fun though, especially when you learn to use your legs. Now, what's not fun is sparring with men because everything becomes like a sexual thing to them. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I can
but
see that
yeah, I used to spar and I was like, oh my gosh. Sometimes it would make me kick their ass even more because like, ew, get off of me.
Can you imagine like totally getting into your victim's head that way? Just like I'm all up on that butt.
Right.
Yeah,
Fucking twisting their leg around, snapping their ankle or whatever.
Right. It would work.
Yeah, I did a couple of fight sports, and I am not too proud to admit that I did better in some fights and not so great in other fights. The thing about combat sports, because everybody thinks they're tough, and they're like, "I can throw hands, man." I was like, "Cool, yeah, so can they."
Right.
Your opponent can also throw hands and are also trained, so
I don't think
Right.
you're kind of on an equal battlefield here.
I don't think I've ever gone into something thinking, oh, I could just kick someone's ass. Like, no,
That's
you
when
have
your
to
ass
always,
beat.
exactly. Like, you always have to like overestimate. I'd rather overestimate an opponent than underestimate them. Because if you underestimate them, you're gonna fucking
You're getting glass jaw, man.
Actually.
You're gonna get knocked the fuck out.
So anyway, about worm jizz.
Caterpillar jizz.
Caterpillar jizz.
Caterpillar jizz is
This is a
silk, right? That's why
scientific
it's so
program.
silky.
Yes.
No, we were talking about the shift in everything because we've been doing this show for what, about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And even in a year and a half ago, like
It seems like a long time ago that we did that first interview with Travis from Iron Man.
who I saw last night, and it's
Yeah?
going very well.
Well, good. Shout out to Travis.
Shout out to Travis.
Shout out, Travis.
In fact, I Am Monsters drummer sat in with us for
Yeah.
like I said earlier, it was Al Bagley, who's now retired
Yeah.
and came out of like hiding from
We need to pull him out of retirement.
I found out if you just say
Maybe
City
for
Witch
a
3
podcast.
times, he's just summoned.
Sure.
I know, it's like Beetlejuice. Double Al.
Well, there's a big shift though, because I remember like for a while, like Fort Worth was starting to gain steam, especially if you were like a death metal band or something like that.
I remember when it was hard for like Dallas people to go to shows in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that a lot has to do with, you know, shout out Justin Mills that does a fucking badass job at Tomcats.
Yeah,
You know,
for
shout out
sure.
to the people
Love
that
Justin.
brought back the Rel. You know, and just keeping that mid-cities and Haltom City Theater.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jared Henry, also in Dallas, or in Denton rather.
Yeah.
This dude talked Harvest House into doing a metal night.
Right?
That's awesome.
Harvest House is like a
Yeah, never.
never.
You know, which brings me to my next project.
Which is?
I have a show coming up. I have joined forces with Texas Metal Connection.
What?
Shout out Danny.
Tex Metcon.
Yeah.
Which he will
That's his
come
alter
on.
ego.
Yeah, he will come on soon.
I've invited him
Yeah,
several
several
times,
times, yeah.
and then he keeps like, well, I don't know what I'd talk about. It's like, shut the fuck up and just come on the
How
show.
about all the
I
metal?
actually got him to go on stage at the benefit, that's KNON benefit, the tornado
Yeah,
benefit
yep.
that we did, because we were presenting like the banners and an acoustic guitar that we were giving to the guys from Reckless Rock Radio. And Danny didn't want to do it. I was like, come on, Danny, let's go on stage.
Right.
And he finally went on stage and talked a little bit. I was like, yes, he's, you know, getting out of his show.
So, Danny/Tex, you're called out. You have
Yes.
to come on
You
the
have to
show.
You
come
gotta
on the
come
show
on,
now.
you gotta
Yeah.
come on the show.
Same with
We
Spicoli
talked
from
about
Frickin'
it.
Reckless,
Yes.
Right?
Greg Spicoli, KNON, Reckless Rock Radio,
They
Reckless
played
Rock
Pixels
Radio,
way too
shout
much to
out
not be on the show.
Lou.
Everybody.
Yeah,
man.
have fun with them.
Always.
Those guys are alright. But yeah, January 18th is my first 2020 show that I put together at Haltom City Theater.
Nice.
Do you guys, I don't know if y'all remember Cruel? With
do.
it's their comeback show. So,
Okay.
you know.
I don't off the top of my head. Remind
You
me.
don't remember Cruel? Cruel was like kind of like
They opened up for Saving Abel. He has a lot of influence from like Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay.
it was
Okay.
the thing that they were super melodic but way technical.
And their brothers too. Ray and his little brother. Well, he's a lot older. Jason is a lot older now. But when I met him, he was like in high school and like ripping the bass.
Do you remember Element 80?
Yes.
They played with Element 80 several times.
Okay.
And you know.
Which was a straight new metal band.
Yeah. I was buddies with their bass
Their
player,
previous
Zach.
drummer.
I was also buddies with Zach.
Their previous drummer fought his fight with cancer and he passed away.
Oh, that sucks.
Rest in peace, Rudy. Like he was a badass. He was a badass, and you know that's one of the reasons why I want to do the Welcome Back show because
Yeah.
I'm very proud of these guys. I'm proud. You know that was a very hard moment for them to get through, and they were on hiatus for a while, and now
Do you
they're
know
back.
how long they were on hiatus?
I'd say probably about 2-3 years.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years. I know they started making a comeback last year, but why is it always the drummer? I don't know. They have a badass
Yeah.
drummer now.
You know?
Yeah.
Why is it always the drummer? That's
Yeah.
always one of my sayings, but because the show has to have a drummer in order to like.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, right?
You know, not
I
everybody
mean,
can
if it
use
was
drum-
up to me,
not
I was like,
everybody
hey,
can
dude, some
use
strings and some
drum
common
beats.
hands.
Just program the drum beats.
Right?
That spot,
Have
no
you
one
ever
can
seen that
no one
show?
can take photos of them anyway unless it's Soul, because she'll get up there. No.
Well, so it's killer. Is that at the Haltom?
Yes, it's at the Haltom,
Okay.
which I love because it's a historic theater, and you're having like metal shows and rock shows and burlesque and
that's
fruit
right,
shows and but yeah, I have a couple of new names. We have actually learning names. Their singer is from UK, so it's going to be their debut here in Dallas.
Oh wow.
And they sound really good. Check them out. We have Wolf's Rain and Primo Danger, which like they all they're cool rock bands, which is different for Texas Metal Connection. But I like to have people to expand their horizons.
Sure.
There's so many different styles of like heavy rock and metal and shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't pigeonhole it, otherwise everybody starts to sound the same.
Exactly. And we sure as hell don't need more Southern. No.
I know, right?
Anyway.
You mean heavy blues? Is that what you mean?
No more seasons of camel shorts, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. No, play what you love. I just, I tell
You just called me out of my camel shorts on my own show?
Hey, at least you're not wearing them right now.
I'm not. I'm wearing very stylish jeans with a mustard
I like the
stain on
jeans.
them.
Yeah, I like the jeans and the boots and.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it's a little bit cold outside for camel shorts. Speaking from the girl that has like fishnets and torn up leggings. But
Right.
I'm here for it.
No, but I always tell everybody like, do what you love. Whatever style of music it is
Unless you're a Creed cover band, then go fuck yourself.
Right. I don't know. There's a few indie bands that didn't. I could live without.
Maybe a couple.
No, I
Just one or
said
two.
for them to do the music. I didn't say would listen to
No,
it.
I know.
Shout out to you banjo playing motherfuckers. Anyway, it was very nice to meet you. I have to bounce. I actually have to go work at a bar for a burlesque show tonight.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See.
But I am.
It's Glitter Bomb tonight,
It's
right?
Glitter Bomb tonight, and we have been doing this the last 3 weeks. I swear to God, guys, I'm gonna find a better job soon.
So tell everybody what Glitter Bomb is.
Glitter Bomb is a cross between a drag show and a burlesque show.
Oh.
And the
I know where we're going after this. No.
I'll get you in free. I'm serious, man. This thing goes on to like 11. But the deal is I would not normally work Thursday nights, except that this is because it's a drag show. They have kind of a sensitive security issue sometimes, and they have specifically requested that I work security for them because they know that I'm an ally, and then I'll beat the shit out of a bigot just for fun.
Yeah.
So I have to. I've been doing this for like the last 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to get. Can I get a performer from Glitter Bomb on here?
Yeah, of course.
That'd be amazing, actually. Onyx Fury, I'm coming for that ass.
That name itself, woo.
The dude is amazing. Like, fucking amazing.
I love drag because, like, goddamn, they could wear higher heels than I can. Like, I can fucking do half the shit
You're not wrong.
that they do, much less in fucking heels, Now, I have shot in heels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
When I wear heels, my ankles get all weird. They never go with my pants.
You have to get the ones that kind of like hold your ankle.
I don't have the ass for heels, I don't think.
I could do the Gene Simmons Kiss boots.
The fucking
Yeah,
just
the
giant platform demon boots are like 9 feet tall.
Well, now we have to get some of those, just like go places wearing like the platform boot.
I want that to happen so bad.
Let's do it.
I'll hold the camera.
And just record people's reaction.
Right. So anyway, I have to go out to Glitter Bomb, but I love you guys. It was very, very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being on the show. And then if you guys want to come out, I'll get you in. And then I love you, buddy.
Great to see you, my man.
Love you, Warlords. Be good. Be brutal.
Hey, this is Soul Nuno, aka Goddess Soul, and you're listening to Warlord Radio Podcast.
Bam.
Awesome. I like
Thank
it.
you. And so we were just talking about our shared love of classic horror movies.
Yes.
Because one of the things I always do is I just have we're here at the Casa and recording in the what would be like the living room.
Yes.
And TV in the background. And I always just put something on in the background to play, even though the sound is off. It could be different stuff, but just kind of like set a mood and relax. So I had on the classic Dracula.
My favorite, like, of all time. I mean, got it, vampires got it, so like,
Right.
I love Dracula. Bela Lugosi's like my all-time favorite Dracula. Like there was no other actor back then. They had to use Bela Lugosi.
Well, he was the classic,
Yeah, and just like his seductive eyes, the theatrics where they're just like they dim everything except for his eyes, and you get that classic moment where it's his stare, and that's what Dracula was supposed to be. Like, back in the day, it's like, how do you can't go inside homes. Well, how are you gonna get in there? Because I'm gonna seduce this woman, and I could appear in her bedroom even though I'm not there, and I could just lure her into like open a window and come here and come in, and but.
Well, with his thick Hungarian accent, he just perfectly fit the role.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like Boris Karloff with Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. It's just perfectly fit the role, and would forever be known for that, which is great, but it's love that, love the black and white photography, and we were just talking about that too.
Yes.
Like the love of black and white photography and just that classic look of it. Like, I'd love to do more stuff in that. Like, I love like band photos and music videos in black and white. I always think that's so cool.
That's why I love my Behemoth photos so much.
Yeah, and you got some like choice ones, especially. I mean, all through the set, but I thought the Behemoth ones were standout.
Thank you. Those are some of my favorites, which I'm gonna have posters soon.
Nice.
I'm gonna have because I have the website pixfromthepit.com.
Right.
You can find everything on there.
And we'll have the link to your site in the episode. But yes, Pix from the Pit.
Pixfromthepit.com. You get everything from like my store. I'm out of shirts right now, but we'll get more. I remember I had like the DRI when I did DRI at Trees, and my other one was Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, right.
But it was awesome because I just used a silhouette, which in me it's just the art of it, because you could see like the sea of crowd, and then just the silhouette of Jared, it just goes to speak volumes, where it's just, to me, music's life, and I just kind of adapted my talent to my love. I always wanted to play instruments, and I sing a lot. I sing in Spanish. I sing with my dad a lot, because my grandpa was a musician.
Okay, what did
in
he play?
Mexico. He had a trio. He played guitar and he sang.
Nice.
He was a vocalist, and he was really tall, like 7 feet tall.
Damn.
So
Big boy.
I have photos where it's just like, he would hold his guitar kind of high, and then like it was a trio. So the other two guys there in his trio, they look super short compared to my grandpa, and I mean, that's how he earned his keep in Mexico. That's where my roots are from. And I'm just always grew up.
Where at in Mexico? Where's your family from?
Jalisco.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents are from Jalisco. And a really, really awesome known fact, and this is
It is.
getting to know me a little bit more, because it's crazy, but I never claimed to be sane, y'all.
Right.
But
we never accused you of that.
Awesome.
Right.
But my last name Nuno, in Jalisco, the founder is actually Nuno de Guzman, which is Guzman's right-hand man. The most brutal conquistador that ever lived.
Right.
Yeah, so he went through Jalisco, and in Zapotlanejo is where my parents are from. Like, he literally like settled there, and like in Guadalajara and stuff like that, they have like statues and stuff of him, and funny that I haven't even gone yet, but I'm excited to go and just feel all those energies of my ancestors.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, so it's really awesome, and I have family down there and everything, but yeah, my grandpa, like, he was a music scene down there, he played at bars and cantinas and drank tequila, and
I like him.
He was awesome. And my cousin has my grandpa's guitar, and he'll play it. And my dad and my uncle, they like sing. And
so did your dad play too?
My dad sings. He doesn't play guitar, but he does sing. And my uncle sings too, and because their father was a musician, he would like actually have like lessons and have them sit down and sing, and my aunt sing, and so I never I did singing for a little bit, and through school, but like I said, the theatrics and photography. I started doing photography in like junior high. We like learned the dark room, and I fell in love with it. Now I do everything digital. That back then I used to like mess with the film, and then we had a dark room as a teenager, and I was just like, oh, I'm burning the film. I'm just like taking it out and exposing it to different things and making all these cool shit happen with photos. And
I think it helps that you have that background, because even though you can do a lot of stuff digitally, is the reason that things work or don't work. As opposed to now, like a lot of people, if they get started, it's like everything's automatic, like autofocus, auto white balance, auto ISO.
This Vampirist is thousands of years old. No.
Right? But you know what I mean? Like, I think that's a big reason that you take such good pics, is because you have that background of fucking around with film and overexposing it, underexposing it, like making all the mistakes that you gotta make. It's the same way as a musician. Like, you gotta suck at your instrument until you get good at your instrument.
There's always been a saying that I like to follow, is that for a million failures there'll be one success. So you just have to. I always keep that in mind.
So I just think that's really cool that you have that background.
And it's been really cool. Like, my career and my journey has been really cool, because adapting, since I never put the camera down, so I got to get like the first digital camera, one of the first digital cameras, and my memory card was like super fat, like it's almost as fat as a battery. Right. And then to like upgrade to like the gear that I have now, and then like the software, and but a lot of times I like doing a lot of my photography where I just don't have to edit so much and just like put it out there, especially when you have more workloads and more time frames, and like in the summertime where all the concerts are, you want like a fast turnaround and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's been really cool, and there's a lot of softwares out there, and I'm still learning a lot. And
always. I mean, it's really like one of those things that, I mean, kind of like an instrument. I mean, it's almost exactly like an instrument. I mean, it's like you can learn stuff your whole life. Like, it's like you don't have to just stop just because you get proficient.
Exactly. Like, and that's why, like, I tell young ones all the time, like, don't sell yourself short and put yourself at the top. There's always going to be growth. Whatever it may be, you're always going to have growth. Who doesn't want to, like, grow anymore, Right. So, but it's been crazy, because basically after like the basics that I learned, I'm like self-taught.
I was going to ask, that falls into, because I was going to ask you, have you ever had any training or taken any classes in photography?
Once I learned the basics on how to use a camera and develop stuff, I just went with it. I've had more professional day jobs, that are different type of photography, not music, but I still do them. Like, I did photography at the mall. I did photography at the hospitals with newborns.
Well, that's just developing your skills. Learning how to do that stuff.
They all have like a little training thing but everything's like automatic. Just shooting on automatic for all that. Fan photography at the stadium. I did that. I'll probably do. Like I said, everybody has to have a day job. Sure. And I'm just lucky enough to use my skill for what I love and for.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Too. So, but self-taught, like just messing around with softwares, messing around with computers, messing around with cameras, having like just that passion for it, passion for music. I don't think I'd be as good as I am, or sometimes I still shock myself every single time. And I guess like when I was gonna go do TSO at American Airlines Center, my anxiety started getting high. All those people, like, oh my gosh, and I dressed different because I was like, I didn't want to scare. Like I said, it was like full-on family, so I was like, I didn't want to scare or anybody be offended or anything.
I say fuck that. I say you go as you.
Yeah, I was still all in black. I just didn't have as many holes.
Nah.
I was more wholesome.
Nah, fuck it.
No, but it was TSO. I could have got away with it, but I don't know. It was my first time there, and
No, I understand.
But now they, the American Airlines people were like, hey, whenever you want to shoot a show,
well, now that you got the foot in the door and you did a great job. Now
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, but yeah, I still shock myself. Like I said, I've never really, just like the opponent thing. Like I don't ever really go into everything like I got the,
Yeah.
I just love it and I have a good time. I don't know. I guess I'm very different sometimes in the photo pit because I'm like I have been literally stopped in the middle of a show and they ask me for my photo pass because I'm headbanging and just enjoying myself.
Yeah. They're like, who is this
I'm like, hold on. Like, how did she get in here?
Right.
No, it's because I love
but
what
that's
I do.
awesome.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to give 110% to something I just didn't love.
Right.
And one of my mentors, Jay's Villa, when I first started shooting in the scene and everything, and I was like, any advice for me? He was like, just don't ever lose a passion for it.
Right.
If you keep the passion for what you're doing, then you'll always enjoy, because it's sure as hell I ain't about the money. No, I'm just kidding.
Trust me.
Music.
Trust me. I get you.
I know. No, it's investments to our lives. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Like, your music, the film that you're gonna do, the films that I plan on doing, because I'm writing too. I'm writing about Goddess Vampire Soul, my persona.
Sweet.
And it's very, very evil.
Good.
And it's very gruesome and I wrote scripts before. I have another one that it's about like zombie kids, and I know that later on like people did it and I was just like, mine's still gonna be better. I'm still gonna plan on doing it because like my kids, they're sometimes like they inspire me sometimes because imagine like trying to have a moment to yourself and they're like banging the door down. I'm like, zombies. And the baby, my baby Moonbat, she says brains and she'll act like she's eating and she's like brains, and it's so funny, because it's like I taught her to eat brains and say brains.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's super hilarious because it's just like, like let's get this on film, let's do it. And it's just like, to me it's like, even if it might suck in someone else's eyes, it wouldn't suck in my eyes because I got it done. You get it from like a idea to like paper and then out there.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to do it. I mean, it is, you got to feel compelled to do it and then do it, and you're gonna suck it when you started anything. Like nothing hard is just gonna be like, oh, I got it like first try. Like if you can do something that way, it's not hard enough. Like do something harder.
I always say if it doesn't cost you blood, sweat, or tears,
or all
is it
three,
even worth it? Blood, sweat, and tears. Is it even worth it if it doesn't cost you
I mean,
cost
like,
you something.
I don't know. Like it's like you just gotta and it can be fun to be bad at something, but then you start to slowly kind of like develop a skill. The first time you took like a really good photo, you're like, oh shit, like I can do this. You know what I mean? But you know that there was a big difference between that and when you started, and now you can look back and see where you are now doing Trans Siberian to like the early days of when you first started. You could
like trying to take a photo of a flower or something.
You're like, I've learned so much. I can see now that no, I wasn't that good then. But you had to take that step. If you don't take that step, then you wouldn't be where you are now.
Exactly.
And where you are now is going to lead to where you're going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see more.
I'm definitely looking forward to your projects. Like I said, I was not shocked. I was not shocked that but I was like, oh hell yeah, he's doing this. Like when I saw your name on everything, I was just like, man, that's awesome. Because like I said, when you have like a love or a passion for stuff, and then you can actually like portray what your input, like what your roots are, and get it out there. It's a different kind of excitement, especially for me. Like and I love film and I love music, and you bringing everything together, and doing more projects like I was very proud when doing the podcast, because it's awesome. Like I said, the first time I met you, we had like an hour conversation, so I was like, I want to go have another hour conversation with you. Are you kidding me?
So it was a no-brainer to have you on the show. So I was glad you were able to make it out.
Yeah, anytime, man. To all of our listeners, share the fuck out of underground stuff, whether it be podcasts, whether it be music, films, you know, it's like, we're the fucking underdogs, but that doesn't mean that we can't get our shit out there. And, you know, join your communities. You know, I love our music community. You know, I love how, you know, Dallas and Fort Worth and, you know, all of our surrounding cities, we have come together and we have kept it thriving. And, you know, all the venues are over changing and ever changing, and, you know, the scenes and everything. Like, you bet your fucking asses we're gonna keep it alive, motherfuckers.
Right. Well, you know, the thing that I like is that there's so much, like, really good raw talent.
Yes.
And you know, that's the thing. It's like, you know, you can hear people be like, you know, support the scene, support underground, which I totally obviously believe.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not like, to someone that's just like, oh, you're just saying that because you're like friends with people or whatever, or you're just like part of a scene. It's like, no. Is if you go out and you take part in like new things, like new music, new art, new photography, new whatever, is, especially around here, is you will see really cool shit.
Very, very cool
and
shit.
The reason to support it is not just to support it, because it's really cool and it's really fucking exciting to see someone and get that up close and personal experience and be like, that's fucking good. Or, you know, like, to see you at a show and then, you know, like 3 days later you're posting pics and it's like, that's fucking gnarly, and I was just right next to you when you took it. You know what I mean? Or we saw the same band at the same time, and you had the eye to capture it in this special way. And that is so cool. Yeah, you know, that's why I say support it, is because it's fucking exciting as fun.
It is. It's awesome to see people, like I said, actually out there doing it, doing what they do well, not just because they're gonna be on TV or because they're gonna be on YouTube, but like that, you know, those very intimate moments of whether it be music or if you see someone's art, you know. And you just kind of like catch what they're portraying. I mean, because hell, I've been, you know, out and about sometimes, you know, by the train station or whatever, and there's just like a dude with a guitar, and he's really fucking good at it. Like, you know, like, support that. Like, just fucking stop and look around you and be like, the fuck? Like, there's so many awesome people. There's so much awesome raw talent. You know, if you just gotta look through all the bullshit.
For sure. But it's there.
It is there,
And, you know, you've been, for the local music scene, like, you've done a lot for bands, you know, getting cool professional photos out there for them and working with different venues and all this kind of stuff. And because you're working with big venues and bands and promoters and stuff like that, you know, doing, you know, Slayer, doing Watain, doing Trans Siberian and other projects, but also working with bands around here and stuff like that, is, you know, you're bringing more visibility to the people that you're working with. So
I mean, you know, that's always a good plus, and, you know, a good part of my vision is, you know, to now I'm like helping book shows, you know, and stuff like that.
Like, and that's an exciting new venue, you know, thing for you to pursue on the side, is that, you know, you'll be able to, now that you have the confidence and the connections and stuff like that, to, you know, you can tailor your own shows and put stuff together. So.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and like I said, I do it all because, for the love of it, you know, for the love of music and the love of art, you know.
So what got you into, like, heavier, darker music, right? Because you grew up in a musical household, but it wasn't like super dark or anything, you know, like that.
I told a couple of people this. I know I made a post of it, but KNON. KNON, man. When I was a teen and preteen, I would stay up till like maybe 3 a.m. It was late, but I would listen to extreme metal, and the first time, because, you know, I grew up listening to like Guns N' Roses and, you know, like, addicted to MTV.
Everybody starts somewhere. Like, no one's just like born and it's like
and I listened to everything, you know, like I said, from Spanish and everything, but, you know, just my love of like just the dark you know, and that's where it started, man. Like I said, I'd stay up really late and I'd listen, and I was like, man, this is really good.
So
and back then, I have no idea who
were some of the first bands that kind of turned you to the dark side?
The dark side.
Yes.
You know, Dark Funeral.
Nice.
I love
them.
listening. Yeah, you know, I love like the symphonic melodies, like, and it's so fucking dark, but it's so beautiful.
Right.
You know, it's just I love that. And then like even now, like I said, going back and listening to older stuff, but like or watching like videos or watching old performances, and it's just like you fall in love with it all over again. You know, and it's just I don't know. I don't have like specifics right now of like who like my music is so fucking crazy, like
right, all over
the
place.
Yeah, all fucking over the place. Like I was listening to Vicente the other day, and then I went to Motionless in White. I fucking love Motionless in White. I love their writing style, and everything that they write is very theatric. Since I'm a very visual person, and every time I like listen to one of their songs, I'm just like imagining, you know, this stuff. And then like when they do the videos and they portray that, they had the Trick or Treat tour, which they had like a giant pumpkin guy, you know, dancing around, trying to get Chris, you know, and they're singing the Headless Horseman, Undead Part 2, and it's just like this whole theatric stuff going on, and I fucking love it. I love theatrics on stage, you know. I did a lot of plays too. When I started writing, I would write plays, you know.
Nice.
Me and my film partner, you know, our first play that we wrote together was Men Are Slime. We were in high
Very
school.
cool.
Yeah, and I told her, you know, because, you know, she's my film partner now, and I joke about how we're going to do a Men Are Slime Part 2, but this time it's going to be like a short.
So is that how you guys met? You were in school together?
Yeah, we were in school together.
Gotcha.
And we were in theater arts class together, and, you know, it just like clicked and went with it. And even though she lives in New York and I live here, we kind of like both still do, you know, what we started doing. So we just come together once in a while and like do it together. So
That's
it's awesome.
very cool.
Yeah.
So and what's your partner's name? Let's shout out to her.
Karina Foz.
Karina, shout out to Karina. Hopefully,
Yes.
Sooner than later, we'll have her on Warlord Radio.
Yeah, I should definitely, one of these days that she comes down here to Dallas so we can film, we'll totally come by and do a guest spot.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun.
I've got, before you leave, after we're done here, I've got some music I want to play you I think you're
Awesome.
going to dig. I don't want to play it on the show because I don't want to, I'm not allowed to yet, but I want you to check out something. But besides like rock and metal and stuff like that, like what are some of your favorite artists, groups, or whatever?
You know, and I love that because I'm always challenging people on Facebook. Send me something that's not rock or metal that you want me to listen to. You know, I love Post Malone. You know, I know that he gets a lot of fucking hate, but you have to understand that, especially like me, like being Hispanic, you know, like I was a fucking outcast because I was listening to rock and metal and fucking staying up late to listen to, you know, extreme metal, and I listen to thrash and I listen to punk. I mean, you know, I listen to Elvis. I love fucking Elvis.
I think it's fairly safe to say that any of us that get into extreme music, we're not sitting at the cool kids table.
Definitely not.
In the
I'm probably
cafeteria.
at the kids' table.
Like it's basically a collection of all of us that were the outcasts of whatever school that we were at. Is once we got out of school, we just found each other. We're like, oh, you were an outcast too? Yeah, me. So was I. So.
I'm like a social chameleon. I've always have been. So it doesn't matter where I am. I just kind of like fit in.
Well, you do definitely.
Yeah, but no.
But okay, so Post Malone.
Yeah, Post Malone, man, because you know, like I said, growing up and listening to a different type of music, like obviously he listened to these songs that he like loves to sing, and it's not like what he built his career on, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a fucking fun time headbanging and singing these songs. So I mean, I give him respect. I give him respect for collaboration between artists. I love that. You know, I love that Ozzy has new music out, and he, you know, put out a song with Post Malone, and you know, yeah, you know what? Who cares about all the drama of the people didn't know who Ozzy? They're fucking missing out if they don't know who fucking Ozzy Osbourne is.
Right.
Oh well, you know.
I can't imagine anybody not knowing who Ozzy Osbourne is.
Yeah,
my mom knows who Ozzy Osbourne is.
My kids know who Ozzy is.
Like, come on,
they love listening, but you have. Fact of the matter is that not everybody has a bright horizon like that.
I know. It's just weird to think about.
Yeah, it is very weird to fucking think about. Like, what? The dude that bit the fucking hair. Yeah. Like, they just missed the whole fucking awesomeness of it. But they'll know soon enough.
That'd be like not knowing who Lemmy is, and I'm like,
yeah.
If you don't know who Lemmy is, you got problems.
Yeah.
Like, you need to seriously like reevaluate your life.
Your life, like just your whole life.
Yeah, like
He's
fucking
God.
Sit down with some fucking records now.
Yes.
And educate yourself.
Definitely. That's, you know, every time I meet young kids, you know, be like a outcast mom is what I'm gonna call it. No, a goth cool mom.
You're the cool mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, also the cool aunt and shit like that.
Sure.
Like, you know, sometimes like, you know, my kids' friends will, you know, be over, or, you know, I was like headbanging in my living room, and one of the kids was like playing with my kid, and she was like staring at me like, who is this lady? Why is she having fun?
Right.
She's a mom. She's having fun. What the fuck?
My parents aren't like that.
Why are my... No, but, you know, and I'll like give them homework, like, go listen to this band, or go listen to that band, or, you know, stuff like that. Just share it, you know.
Yeah. So do your kids like some of the stuff that you listen to?
Yeah, I mean, my kids love going with me to concerts and shows.
Nice.
Sierra loves drowning. All my kids love drowning pool.
Okay.
So, you know, being able, my mom knows drowning pool. You know, like, they think it's so cool. You know? And or like sometimes I won't show if I know that like one of them wants to go, and I'll just like take them. I did that with Sierra in the summer. She went with me to Iron Maiden.
Oh, that's awesome.
She was in the pit.
That was an incredible show, by the way.
Shirt. Yes, amazing. So, you know, I didn't shoot it, but she went with me. We were in the pit. She has she always wears her Iron Maiden shirt now, and she's always blasting them, and you know, I call them, you know, proud goddess moment, because it's just like, yeah, they get the feel. Yeah. And, you know, she's 12, so she, like, wants to learn photography, and she, like, you know, she was on, Drowning Pool pulled her on stage at the last show at Curtin. She's learning drums, so she got to sign, like, the drum head from Curtin, Joey, from, you know, he got her to sign it, and she was, like, so excited, and you know, they love it. They're like little mini-me's, so they're like, hey, I want to do that too. I want to be in that. Like, if she loves Coilback, oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, Lou Morris, she met him too. She met him at Maiden, but she was just like the voice behind, that's you?
That's you? What?
Yeah, but she, like, she'll pick up on music that I listen to, and like all of a sudden my CD's gone. That CD, man, and like Lou was like, this is like one of the last CDs that we have from that album, Coilback, and The Love Is Dead, and I was like, well, I don't have it anymore. I have the case where you signed, but like she totally took over, you know, and I think it's really cool. You know?
Is.
But I try not to influence them too much. I'm like, you can't listen to that, but there is a lot of shit. I'm like, you can't listen to that.
Yeah, you're not ready for that yet. You're not ready for that. What about movies? So I know you love the old Universal horror classics and stuff like that. But aside from that, what are some of your favorites? Like, what do you particularly dig on?
I love all horror movies as long as I don't like too much predictableness. But nowadays, it takes a lot to shock me. Right. You know, now I'm to the point where I just want to film more. Like, I don't know, music videos too. I'm gonna start filming more music videos.
That'd be great.
Kind of putting in, yeah, because you know, a while back I was watching one of the videos that y'all ended up filming yourself with Silver Tongue, and I'm like, I want to fucking film a music video with you.
You should. Let's do it.
We collaborate and we have, like, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it in black and white.
Yes, definitely.
I would love to.
And old time, like, horror, like.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm so down.
You should do it. We should do we'll talk after. I got ideas.
Let's not give away all our ideas.
I got ideas. I think we could do something cool.
Definitely.
But yeah, I love that. But yeah, so but like, what are some of your all-time favorites? Like, what are your go-to classics?
like slasher films. Like, I like, man, like, fucking all Draculas. I will watch all of the Draculas, like, just like on rotation almost, you know, or I watched the Dracula series, the new Dracula series. I also binge watched that.
Is that any good? Haven't seen it.
It's good because of the fact that it's very funny.
Okay.
You know, I thought it was funny. I think it's witty, you know, it was entertaining to me. Like, yeah, it's a mixture of films to me, like, okay, that kind of feel, but this kind of feel, but it didn't disappoint me.
That's cool.
It definitely didn't disappoint me.
Right on.
I watched most thing vampire, and there's some disappointing stuff out there.
Oh, sure.
There's way more disappointing stuff out there, so,
yeah.
you know, I don't know. I like a lot of gore. A lot of gore. If it has fucking blood squirting, I'm laughing at it. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I just, you know, I'm, you know, very visual. So like, you know, I remember like, I still, you know, I like watching old films like Soylent Green. Like,
oh yeah, Charles Heston.
Yes, Charles Heston.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like I freaking found that and I bought it and I'm like just sitting there rewatching it, or like The Stuff.
The Stuff. That's a good one.
They actually have like a yogurt or ice cream some shit.
The Stuff from the movie. Yeah.
About time somebody fucking banked on that shit. They didn't even do that back then when The Stuff came out. The Blob.
That would be
you
cool.
know, The Gates, like old movies like that. Like I don't know, I like them a lot. Troll.
Troll. And Troll 2.
Gremlin.
Yeah.
And Troll 2. Yeah.
Creature movies. I love creature movies.
Creature movies. Critters.
Critters.
Gosh, I was
one of my favorites is An American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
I love werewolf stuff.
Yes.
I love wolf stuff.
Yeah, even
werewolves.
like Underworld, that was really good. Resident Evil movies. Apocalyptic movies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like that. A lot of movies that like have originated from video games. I pretty much.
Silent Hill, I thought was really good. The movie, I thought they did a good job with that.
They did.
Like
yeah.
I liked the atmosphere of it.
Yeah, I dug the Silent Hill movies a lot, and Hitman.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite or anything Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Depp, I think, is like my favorite all-time actor.
Yeah.
Like,
he's done some great shit.
Yeah, and especially when him and Tim Burton, like, that's like a match made in hell. I fucking love it. Like,
Ed Wood is so good. I love that
I was watching Sweeney Todd the other night, you know.
And Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow is one of my favorites. Yes.
They did a great job.
Sleepy Hollow was playing at a theater close by to my house, and I wanted to freaking go watch that, but I didn't have time to do that and make it to a show on time. So I was just like, I'll just find my copy somewhere.
Choices. But yes, I'm with you. Like some of those, like especially like Sleepy Hollow is just so fucking good. But you know, other stuff like Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, fucking. I love it. I love classic Edward Scissorhands, stuff like that. Stuff where it's just like you just rewatch back then and you still do it now.
have you seen his the animated one, Frankenweenie?
Yes. You know how they're like all kind of like
stop motion animation, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like all kind of
or like Nightmare Before Christmas.
My kids were like, look, they kind of like all coexist. I have never paid attention to them.
Oh yeah, like related in the same world. Yeah. That stop motion animation, man, that is a whole different level of patience. I have so much respect for those people because that would drive me insane.
Yes.
That they literally are shooting 24 frames per second individually and moving each little piece like a fraction of a movement.
I've done that with like toys.
Yeah, so have I.
For a couple of seconds, but can you imagine a whole
oh man, and it takes hours to do like a few seconds.
A few seconds. It's just like when you draw a picture and like when you do like the spin thing, it's like it takes you forever to draw on each paper, and then it's just like 2 seconds, it's
You're
over.
like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got mad respect for that kind of stuff.
Mad respect.
I love just the artistry of
Yeah.
it that they put into it.
And listeners, if y'all do stop motion stuff, hit us up because that's worth seeing.
Yeah, fucking send it in and post it. We will share it because
Hell
that
yeah.
stuff is amazing.
It is. I'm freaking patient with it. And let me see what else. I mean, comedies are pretty funny if they're...
Well, yeah. I mean, I like movies of all kinds, I've just always had a soft spot for horror movies and monster movies and stuff like that.
Gosh.
So.
Yeah, I love monster movies. Like, anything horrific, I love it. I don't know, I guess since it was, like, always so... Oh, you can't, like, so taboo, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, you can't... Oh, I still... Man... My parents come over sometimes. Like, my place is all gothed out, like, and I have, like, you know, horror stuff, right? Shocker. No, but even like, my parents still come over and just like, just
right?
don't even ask anymore.
You're an adult now, so there's, you know.
No, but like,
they're just like, whatever.
No, they're still like, no, you can't have that. That's satanic. Oh really? I have no idea. No.
Was
but
a giant inverted cross that gave it away.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's kind of like going down the rabbit hole. It's just like, how gory can it get? You know, what's gonna scare me? You know, and you know, I think just like my love's always gonna go back to the classics because you know that's where the original portray is. You know. And that's where you're always gonna like compare everything to, like, okay, does this shock me? Does this, you know, how did it get better? That's why I don't like remakes too much.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but I love Evil Dead, like that kind of like goriness. You know, even the Evil Dead shows, like, awesome.
Yeah. Ash vs Evil Dead.
Ash vs Evil Dead. Yeah, that was really cool. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I just, you know, I want to see more fucking guts flying around and you know. Like, I love movies that leave stuff to imagination, but not so much. Right. You know, it's just like, I want to see the gore. I want to see the eyeball hanging out. I want to see the guts, like, being ripped apart.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like, I want to see it. Like, show me. What do you got? Let's do it, you know?
Yeah, what's that one? God, I can't fucking remember the name of that movie right now. Where it's, like, basically killing all the fucking zombies. He like uses the lawnmower and
Peter Jackson, Dead Alive.
Yes, Dead Alive.
So fucking good.
I had Dead Alive on God, my mind is going blank now.
That's okay. What, like DVD or
not
VHS?
The DVD,
or?
the fucking big Laserdisc.
Oh, Laserdisc, yes.
Big Laserdisc.
Yes.
And I had it on Laserdisc. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And, I want to get another, like, I'll probably collect Laserdiscs again, and I'm probably collecting.
I still have some old ones.
Yeah,
like,
I had some till recently, but yeah, I'm gonna find some again in the fucking Laserdisc player. I like did it once and do it again.
Right.
But even just to have, I had an Interview with a Vampire on Laserdisc.
Nice.
That was my first one that I found on Laserdisc. That kind of like spun the Laserdisc collection thing for me because I was like, Interview with a Vampire on fucking Laserdisc. It's double-sided. It has like a freaking vinyl almost with like artwork and shit.
Yeah,
it
kind of is. It's like the vinyl of movies.
It's the vinyl of
Laserdisc.
You know? It's so awesome. It's like they probably get scratched up enough as like DVDs do, but you know, I don't know. I think that could have kind of caught on better if people would have done it right, like vinyls, you know.
Right.
But they didn't, so they're gone. But yeah, I love that movie because it's just like, you know, what is that, like 80s? 80s?
Dead Alive, I think, was early 90s.
Early 90s,
yeah.
like 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Probably like 92.
So around then.
Yeah.
Around that time.
But, you know, it's just like they weren't scared of the freaking theatrics. Like they, even if it was bad, it was still like gory as fuck and just.
Or movies like Reanimator.
Yeah.
Or From Beyond. Have you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
There was some. They had a I don't know, I guess it would have been like a decade now ago, but they had what they called like the French new wave of horror movies that came out, like High Tension was one of them.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked a bunch of those movies. There was High Tension, I thought was really good. Inside, which I thought was excellent. Frontiers, Martyrs, which was like just crazy, disturbing, weird. But I really liked it because they featured extreme gore, but with solid acting and storylines. Like there was no cheese at all. Like it was like straight up.
It's like the perfect combo.
So I really enjoyed those movies and movies inspired like that. So.
Yeah. I like a lot of like foreign horror too.
Oh yeah.
Like Korean films.
No, yeah, like I Saw the Devil and things like that.
Yes, and Train to Busan.
Train to
oh
Busan,
my gosh,
so good.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love foreign movies just for the different feel and the atmosphere and stuff like that. And I prefer movies to be subtitled. It kind of drives me nuts when they're overdubbed because like it's something about like the fact that the voice doesn't sync.
Yes, it's like, so annoying to me.
It throws me off, and I'm like, why does this guy have an American accent? That's not right.
I've never mind subtitles, I guess, because by the mid movie, I forget I'm like reading subtitles. You know, I'm just like so into it. You know. Yeah. So I love foreign films a lot.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I just...
Yeah, but no, I don't like dubbed either. It's very annoying. It's that sync, man. It's that sync. If it doesn't sync right, it's very hard for me to watch. Very hard.
Yeah. What are do you have any shows coming up that you know of as far as like pictures or anything like that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, this weekend, Mothership is back in town.
That's right. Are they playing at Blue Light?
Blue Light,
okay.
Yes, with Bull by the Horn.
Is that Friday or Saturday?
That's
okay.
Friday. Yeah, that's Friday. And you know, last time I saw Mothership, I watched them at what was that, Texas Mutiny? It was Texas Mutiny, and you know they were playing with like. It was like a whole 97.1 or some other shit bullshit.
Okay, I got you.
Sorry, festival, and yeah, Mothership was fucking out there, and then fucking went on tour. So I haven't seen them in a while, but I always keep up with them. They rock, and so I want to go out there and get some new photos of them.
Very cool.
And enjoy the fucking show.
Yeah, Blue Light's a cool place.
Blue Light's awesome.
Went there for the first time when we played there, like in November or early December, I guess. And
I love the fact that they're booking more metal and rock shows too.
Yeah. So shout out to Joseph Cabrera.
Joseph, we love you.
Dallas metal scene, because he's the one that orchestrated that. So.
Yeah, because he rocks like that.
Right.
You know, and shout out to all the people that have always, you know, supported me and a lot, that like everybody took me under their wing and, you know, just gave me that chance to, you know, it's like, I really appreciate it. You know, I always tell people like I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for everybody that supports me, you know, just wouldn't. But yeah, and then Saturday I'll be back at Blue Light for Erstwhile, because they rock. Like I love going out there and you know, just enjoying the music and, you know, getting some shots of them. Yeah. You know, so 2 in 1. It'll be fun times.
And remind me of when your show, the Cruel reunion is.
That's January 18th at Haltom.
Okay, so January 18th at Haltom.
Yes.
And then Cruel.
It's a badass lineup.
One more time, what's the full lineup for it?
It is Primo Danger, it is Learning Names, and Wolf's Rain, and then Cruel.
Okay. Now, did you book all these bands?
I did. Yes.
Okay. So, did you know them all, and you reached out to them?
No.
How'd you put all that together?
You know, I kind of got thrown into it. I got thrown into it. Yeah, it was. We were gonna fill a date, and Danny reached out. He's like, hey, know anybody that you can help me fill this date with? And I was like, let me put out a PSA really quick, you know, and started talking to people and started listening to submissions. And I was like, well, okay, this and this and this, I think will make for a great show, great combo. And I started talking to Cruel, Doug from their new drummer, and or his name,
right?
And I started talking to him, and he was like, well, let me find out. I was like, wait, are you telling me that this could be Cruel comeback show? I was like, let's do it. I was like, come on, talk to the guys, tell them it's sold, tell them come on, you know, let's do it. And he hit me back up, because I gave everybody, it was such a short notice. I mean, January 18th is right around the corner, and I think I started working on it like maybe a week or so ago. So
that's really quick.
Yeah,
so,
very quick.
So just so most people know is typically when you book a show, even if it's like a local show, it's 2 to 3 months ahead of time.
Yes.
That's the normal amount of time to book. Now, sometimes shows just pop up and you're like, shit, I gotta fill a date.
Yeah.
And that does happen, but that's not normal.
That's
so the
not
fact
what
fact that you basically had like 2 weeks to set it up is very impressive.
Yeah, and well, everything fell together like really fast, and I put the show together on in like a couple of hours, and I had everybody. I was like, okay, everybody has 24 hours to confirm, because by tomorrow I want to announce it. And that's exactly what I did. And, you know, and, you know, it's awesome that it's a comeback for Cruel, because, you know, I really want them to be back out there and doing them. And then, you know, Duke, from the singer from Learning Names, like I said, he's from the UK, and he has an amazing voice. Nice. So when they send this to me, and I'm just like, man, you know, so it's a Dallas debut, and it's a comeback from, you know, one of our beloved locals. So it's gonna be a fun time, and you know, if
be a killer show.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and you know, anybody that lives in mid cities, Haltom Theater is so awesome. It's becoming one of my favorite venues, definitely. You know, because the love of theater,
right?
You know,
I love old
film and photography. Yeah, it's so awesome. Have you been there yet?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh,
not yet.
So, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, and I would totally go there the 18th, but unfortunately, I'll be playing a show in San Antonio.
Yes, I saw that.
So
I saw that y'all are gonna be in San Antonio.
Yeah.
All my cousins are all there. No,
there you go.
No, I have family only in San Antonio.
Nice.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I love when you guys like tour and stuff, because, like I said, just taking it out there, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be joining y'all soon.
Yeah, please. We got a bunch of you know, out of town, out of state shows coming up fast this year.
Awesome.
Because now, you know, we're working with a record label called Misanthropic Records.
I saw that.
We're working with a PR company called Metal Coffee out of Oklahoma.
I've heard of Metal Coffee. That's awesome.
And you know, so and we've got our new album out. So.
Yes.
We're working with, we know a lot of people after years of playing around, but also like we've made a bunch of new contacts, and so you know, we're gonna be
lineups and stuff.
We're gonna be playing like a bunch of new places and stuff.
That's
like
awesome.
and then having like some new people in the band and stuff like that. So yeah, exciting. So yes, we'll definitely be out on the road, and you'll definitely be joining us for
Yes, I am so down.
Wild times.
Yes, we always have a fun time.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there anybody that we need to draw attention to? Is there anybody that you've been turned on to lately that people are sleeping on? Any good artists that you can think of that people need to know more about?
Yes. Blood Sugar.
Blood Sugar?
Blood Sugar. I saw them at Haltom as well.
Okay.
And, you know, they're on the younger side.
What style? Like, what do you think?
It's rock.
Okay.
It definitely is rock. And a lot of our extreme metal artists out there, like Nocturnal Wolf. You know, I love. You know, they're already you know, like going on tour and stuff, which I love.
Right.
You know, I pay a lot of attention to newcomers. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of times they, you know, I love new music. You know, definitely like, you know, Blood Sugar caught my eye because you could really tell that they've been putting in the work. Like they got up there and fucking killed it, and it wasn't choppy. It wasn't like, it was like really to a T. Learning names I love because like Erica, she plays the violin. I'm really excited to see them live. You know, this is a band that I booked, but I hadn't listened to their stuff till they sent it to me, and I really dig it. You know, I love the fact that it's rock, you know, but it incorporates a violin into it. You know, I love that. You know, I don't know. You have been out, you know, at a lot of different shows. Like, who are some of the artists that you've been like, hey, I want to keep an eye on these?
Well, I went and saw. Yeah, I mean, I try to go out to shows whenever I can. You know, it's obviously like being in the band and doing like the podcast and stuff like that is like. It means I don't get out to a lot of shows that I'm not playing in.
Exactly.
But on the times that I have off, like I try to get out and go to shows. I saw a really cool punk show at Gas Monkey on New Year's Eve, and I saw some bands.
I wanted to go to that actually.
That was a cool lineup. So like the headliner was TSOL and Dwarves. I'd seen TSOL like years ago, and it was cool to see him again because I love punk too.
How was Dwarves? Yeah, I love punk.
And TSO was killer. Dwarves was killer. That was my first time to see them, and they were fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
And then they had some local bands. So they had Blot Out, who I've seen before, but our buddy Talmadge, who's in Bad Blood, was filling in on vocals. So it was kind of cool to see them with a. Because I guess they lost their singer for I don't know why, but so they had to fill in, and he was our buddy, and it was cool to see him play. And then another punk band called Noogie, who I had never seen before, but they did a killer job, so they were very solid. So that was the most recent show that I'd seen. Trying to think of what I saw right before. I saw another show right before that. It wasn't Cattle Decap, although I was at that show. But there was something in between, but I'm kind of drawing a blank on there.
I'm kind of like having withdrawals from like our, like, I guess it was like our end of / fall shows. Like,
right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
you get inundated with like so many shows. Like, and then you kind of hit a stretch where there's not as many. Oh man. Yeah. But I know there's more coming soon.
Yes.
Because like they just announced like Vader at Gas Monkey. I love fucking Vader.
I love Gas Monkey too.
Like, Gas Monkey. That's a legit 2 venues. There's like the bar and the grill and live.
I love both.
Yeah.
I love going to live, and I love going to. I love the intimacy of bar and grill.
I'm with you.
I love the intimacy. Seeing Walton, like, oh my gosh, like,
those guys are killer.
You know, and I love it because, you know, I got to meet Eric. And
I was at that show with Watain and Belfagor and
you know, before that was Avith.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love that we're bringing artists like that to Bar and Grill, and like I said, the intimacy of it is just. To me, it's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know, even if I wasn't shooting in the photography pit, because, you know, y'all all see me after the photo pit. I'm right in the pit.
Oh yeah.
Right in the barricade of it, or right in the front row. You know, as far as I can remember, even as a little girl, I just wanted to be in the front row.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the front row, like, you know, just one of those things, like, you know.
So tell me a little bit about the gear that you use. The shows.
Right now I'm using a Nikon D71.
Okay.
And 2 lenses. I'm gonna up my gear.
What are the 2 go-to lenses that you use?
I just standard. I just use a standard lens. You know. Sometimes I have like attachments like a zoom. You know, a zoom lens, or, you know, I just.
Do you like to get like shallow depth of field where it's really just focused on the foreground, or do you like where everything's in focus, or do you like wide angle, or?
I switch up.
Just kind of depends.
Yeah, I just kind of depends on if I'm gonna do the whole band, I like doing in wide angle.
Right.
If I'm gonna do a close up, I just I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Just like you see me all over the place.
Right.
I'm literally all over the place.
Oh,
like that's
literally.
I'm always like switching my settings and switching my lenses and.
So do you carry? You have like a gig bag that you carry all your gear in? You take it with you?
No,
into
I
the
used to, and then I kind of just went to like a backpack.
Okay.
What I'm working on right now is actually like just a backpack, a photographer's backpack, but I'm gonna start putting like patches from the bands that I've shot, like especially like underground stuff. If you have a patch and I have shot your show, let me know. Cause
I will definitely give you a patch.
yes, fuck yeah. Cause man, like I remember, like I still have like STD stickers. And,
Nice.
I had in my last place where I had like my garage set up, I had a mirror in there. I had like STD stickers everywhere, and I had
Very
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely been one of our favorite temptresses over the years.
I guess.
So.
Yeah, like my birthday show was badass. I
Yes.
loved it. I got to, listen to one of my favorite bands and, jam out and actually drink. Because a lot of people wonder why I don't drink. I love to drink, okay? I love to drink, but I'm not going to drink and photo at the same time.
Yeah, she's working.
I'm working.
After the show.
After the show, you can buy me a shot.
Right.
Yeah, because, and I'm a photographer that wears glasses too. And
Right.
that itself is kind of, a lot of people spoke against that. I was like, no, like, what are you talking about? No, I got this. You know? But because if I don't want to deal with blurry photos, I much less want to deal with blurry eyes.
Right.
Trying to not get blurry photos, but yeah. With my birthday show, like I said, just jamming out. I'd go and catch like chemicals, and you guys. It was an awesome moment for me, and when I like dedicated, one of my favorite songs.
That's right, Chopped Up by a Witch.
Yes, because I'm evil like that. Right. No, but yeah, it just kind of like reminds me of why I do what I do, is just going out there sometimes without gear. But yeah, having my gear in, I just, camera bags and stuff like that, they're always a pain in the ass for me, especially when I'm like shooting in like a photo pit sometimes our photo pits like literally a foot, like sometimes I'm like, I never even knew I'd be so happy for 3 more inches.
Right, like squeezed in by a barricade.
Yes, you have the barricade and you have like floor amps and monitors and, wires and all kinds of crap, and, sometimes it's an obstacle, but so having a camera bag sometimes is just a pain. When we do, sometimes when I photo like Live Nation shows and stuff like that, it's really awesome. We get to leave whatever gear we're not going to use in like an office.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we
that
have
helps.
AC and
right.
Yeah, I made it to the big time.
That's like rock star level right there. Right?
Yeah, it's total rock star. I love it. So we get to hang out with like the other photo crews and stuff like that, and we all shoot to shit, and it's awesome. It's been awesome because, like I said, my mentor, like James Villa and other photographers that I looked up to when I first started getting into this, and saw how and it's just like being able to photo them with them in the photo pit now and hanging out back there with them and stuff. It's kind of like surreal sometimes, It's like when I did photos of Slipknot and Behemoth, and sometimes I'm sad because, traditionally, my birthday's in September, so traditionally every September a bunch of my friends and I would party on lawn at, now it's Dos Equis, but, it's Dos Equis now.
It'll always be Starplex to me.
Starplex, yeah, like the one that's at Fair Park, that one.
Right.
But you know, and coming around to like this last September and the September before that, they're like, yeah, you know, and even this September I had kind of started to put together a party out the lawn for our September birthdays. And it was like, we're down, and last minute I told everybody, like, guys, I gotta prove 2 photos of the show, so I'm still gonna be there.
I'll be there, but I can't be partying on the lawn.
I can't party on the lawn, but I still, you know, I'll still go over there and say hi to everybody.
You can hang with them before and after.
Yeah, before and between.
Yeah.
After the first 3 songs, I'll be back.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, I love that you know, the place is so huge, but you'll still run into people that you know, and you know, other artists and other band members, and you know, I love that. I love that feeling. You know, and so. But still, like, you know, satchel bags. I wear a lot of satchel bags and with my gear in there, and I just have like protective like sleeves for my camera, protective stuff for the lenses and stuff like that, because I mean, I guess I'm not like your traditional, you know, like, I don't know, like it doesn't go with my style, guys.
That's right.
Like, it doesn't go with my style, you know. I'm just not your average.
You gotta do it your way.
Yeah, I gotta do it my way,
That's
you know.
right.
So, you know, and it's awesome whenever, you know, I'm at rock or metal shows, because they're like, holy shit, she knows the fucking lyrics to our song, but she's taking pictures. What happened here?
That's right.
Know?
But that's the coolest thing, you know, because it's not just somebody standing there like taking pictures, like,
yeah, like, oh, I have
bored
to
with
do
it.
this one
You're
for this
into
other
it.
magazine. No,
Yeah,
I'm doing
that makes it cool.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, you know, I'm doing it for pixfromthepit.com now, you know, and I don't mind collaborating with other magazines, you know, especially like out-of-state magazines, you know, other countries. Like, if they hit me up and they want to use my work, I'm like, yeah, you know, go ahead, you know. I've been in Revolver.
Sweet.
Yeah, I was in Rolling Stone with it was, I think, Hostel. I did like, cause you know I would do promo shoots and you know, work for like studio work, stuff like that. So it was really awesome to have like my work like in, you know, Chemical's album.
Fuck yeah.
You know, Rolling Stones with Hostel, I think they had a spot and they used one of my photos, or seeing prints, seeing posters, stuff like that. It's just
that's fucking
really
badass.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a perk. It's definitely a perk. And Chemicals was like, yeah, we sent the album to Okinawa and it sold out in 5 minutes. I was like, fuck yeah, like that's awesome, you know.
Fuck yeah.
So.
Well, that's great. Well, that's a testament to the fact that you do killer work.
I appreciate it, yes.
So thank you so much for coming on the show. It's
Thanks
been wonderful to have you here. And we really appreciate it. Everybody definitely check out Pix, P-I-X, From The Pit, and check out all of Saul's work. And we'll have links to all your sites and stuff like that.
Yeah, stay tuned for more chaos and craziness.
Yes. And we definitely want to try to get you back with your filmmaking partner.
Yes.
So you guys can talk about that aspect of your creativity.
Awesome. Yes, I'm down. I am so down.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Saul. We greatly appreciate
Thanks,
you coming
everybody.
on.
Keep
Thank
on
you, guys.
listening every week.